Hello, it's Michael here from Michael's Card Art. This is the first time I've done a face-to-face video for YouTube, I think it is. But yes, I'm going to do a couple of new things this season. We'll get through Christmas. And I'm looking at a couple of new ideas, but I'll hold those off until just before the new season starts. But today's video is a short one, I think, and it's just going to be a bit of an update. I haven't posted for quite some time. I was over in Europe for 10 days visiting some lovely friends, and I had a very special trip to Norway and met my dear crafting pal Lydia. Now Lydia I met through this little caper called Crafting, and it was just fortuitous that we happened to stumble across one another and we got chatting, and the rest is history. And I have to say a big thank you to Crafting, because not only did it save my sanity when I came out of an operation that didn't go very well, and so it gave me some purpose, but it's also now opened up the world in a sense that I'm now seeing people, meeting people that I've never dreamed of meeting. And you know, Lydia lives in Norway. It's the other side of the world from Australia, and I have to say, after 23 hours on the plane, I was a little over the whole travel experience. But and the trip home, that was another experience where I had to, well, the airline that I flew over with wouldn't accept me on board on the trip back. Long story, just about visas. Anyway, I was in the right, they were in the wrong, but nonetheless I wasn't able to get onto that flight, so I had to try and cancel it, then find another flight out of Heathrow on a very busy day. And anyway, a couple of $1,000 later, last minute booking, we find ourselves back on a plane and we're heading home. So look, it was a great 10 days away, caught up with some very dear friends in England, and of course our good crafting pal Lydia in Norway. So, but today I just wanted to do a quick video. I've got another expo over in Locksport in Gippsland on the weekend of, it starts Sunday the 2nd and it goes Monday to Tuesday. The expo is a 3-day expo, and on the Monday and the Tuesday, that happens to be Melbourne Cup here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. We have the Tuesday off, Melbourne Cup day off, and so I've got classes, a beginner's class on the Monday, that's the 3rd, and an intermediate and advanced class on the 4th. Now they're both being held in Locksport down at the community hall. We have still got a number of seats available across the two classes, so if you're in the area and you feel like busting out with some creativity, come along, and everything is supplied, and it will be a good fun a few hours, so it'd be lovely to see you if you're in that area. And the expo is going to be an expo of a couple of artists, and they've roped me in to showcase some of the things that I do in the card space, so I'm quite flattered about that. But so that's what I'm getting ready for now. This video though, I wanted to just share something, because I have to say this crafting environment is all about sharing, and I'm absolutely buoyed by the whole idea. For those people who are familiar with my work, and I'm going to show you some of my work, and I'm also now going to show you what it is that I've managed to pull together, and I'm surprised that it took me so long, but anyway, it's I've got the idea and I'm very happy with it. But I'm going to show you the cards and the card holder that I'm going to use going forward when I receive orders, because I was always perturbed about not having a suitable case for my 3D cards. So I think I've got the problem solved. But if anyone's got some other ideas, I'm very happy to receive some input in that space. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is turn the camera around, and this is not going to be a seamless process, so I'll stop start, that sort of thing, and I'll show you the project that I'm making today, and how it will be used going forward. So thank you. Just give me a moment and get myself organized with technology, and I'll be back. Okay, so those familiar with my work will realize that I'm big on 3 dimensions. I like to see height and I love to see texture in my work. However, when you look at those projects, you can see that there's a little bit of height there. Now, if these were to be put, well, let's go back a step. What I used to stress about was how am I going to, when I make these, how am I going to preserve them so that when they're ready for sale or to be sent off to dear friends or the likes, then how am I going to look after them? Well, I came across the idea of putting them into these cases. Now, Stampin' Up! Have retired these cases for their rubber stamps because they no longer make rubber stamps. They're all photopolymer ones. So these cases all of a sudden now became my new best friends. And so I can put my cards in there when I've made them and they're not being destroyed. And that is a big saving there. But the problem I had was, how do I send the card and without destroying the 3-dimensional look? So I've come up with this idea. And so what I've got here is just a small packet. I've decorated the outside just with offcuts actually, and I've made a flap. It's very, very basic, and I've still to finesse a couple of things about it. And the card will then, with a little bit of shredded paper or some gift wrapping paper, will go into the packet like so, and then there you go, wrapped up and tied off. So I've done that very loosely. But I thought this is brilliant for what I want to do. So what I've done is I've just gone out and made a stack of these boxes. I've used brown tones, so a darker brown and the lighter brown. These are courtesy of Stampin' Up's 12-inch papers. Now, they have a white core in the paper, as you can see here, and so it makes a great cardstock that you can sand and the white will show through. You've got dark on one side and light on the other, and so it works a treat, I think. And so I've used the light and the dark in there. I'll just show you a couple of others. They're all just using the offcuts of paper, offcuts of florals, and I've just used a bit of thread and tied it off, and there you go. So these, at my expo this coming weekend over in Locksport in Gippsland, if you make a purchase of any of my box sets or gift cards, then I'll be packing those away for you in one of the gift boxes that I've actually made. And look, there's no rhyme and reason to them, and I just think it's such a great little idea. Well, for the work that I do anyway. So that's what's happening in Locksport in Gippsland, Victoria this weekend. If you want to come down and have a look at, see what's there. This is one of my favouriteest ones. This is just a really nice designer series paper, and look at that colour pattern inside it corresponding. It's just beautiful, with some wattle and some wattle seeds. And what I've done is I've just cut a piece of what looks like a piece of wattle from the Australian bush, made a butterfly, and there's your gift box for that there. Here's another one that I've done using a designer series paper on cardstock and just wrapped it. Now, the beauty of this is it doesn't matter how big your card is, because you can adjust the height. The lid is a separate piece of it's a separate element, if you like. So I make the base first, and I'll show you that, and then I make the lid. And so that's what today's session is about, how I make these gift boxes. Look, you may find no value in this whatsoever, but as a shy retiring crafter, when I started, I was having a hard time trying to find ways to store and send my projects Well, here it is. So what I want to do is show you how that comes together very, very simply, and it won't take us very long at all. So just move that aside. Now, what I'm going to do, I think the camera is just a bit low, so I'm just going to lift it up a little bit. There we go, to get a bit more space, a bit more air. Okay, so just let me see if I can see the whole thing there. Yes, that's better. Okay, so what I've done is, and I'll just bring my ruler down so I can give you this without too much ado. Okay, each piece is, as an example, and each piece is 240 centimeters wide and just over 30 centimeters high. And what I've done is scored at 2 centimeters on each side, and I've turned it around and I've scored one side at 140 and the other side at 145, and I've got a 2 centimeter fold in the center, and I've just cut the edges like so. Now if I had a card that was higher than this, then what I would do is I would just make the lid of the card that bit higher in the base, and I'll show you what I mean by that anyway. So once you've got your basic piece cut out, and I can do this in my sleep now, I've done so many of them, I'm going to get some double-sided tape. And all I'm doing is putting double-sided tape right to the edge of one side of this. Right to the edge, I say, because I don't want the edges lifting up after the tape has gone on. Now, look at these. And I've got a driver's license. Imagine. And I'm just going to put a piece down here. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the corresponding side. Just along here, right at the edge. Oh, that's the end of our double-sided tape. I do have another roll. Okay, so right to the edge. Okay, and here, and this one here as well. Okay, that's it. Oh, and one here. All right. Now let's just take the backing off those. Make sure they're down flat. And it's just a matter of flick and lift. There we go. Like so. And now I don't know whereabouts everyone is, but in Melbourne we're moving into our spring, halfway through into our spring just about, and I'm dressed up in a jacket, it's so cold here in Melbourne. Okay, now you'll notice I've got the light side on the inside, so we're going to have the dark side on the outside. And all I'm doing there now is folding that up. I'm bringing up the side without any tape on it first, and just holding that down and bringing up the small tab that's, if I can get it, at the back here. And that just locks that piece into place when I do it properly. Okay, there we go. It's there. Now I'll do the same with this one. Bring it up and bring that tab in there like so. All right. Now just fold that piece into there. Now making sure that I've got the taped areas on the outside. Now, just do one at a time. I find it's easiest. And making sure that you've got a nice edge join coming right to the edge, like so. Okay. Now, doing the same with this one, folding over and bringing that edge, that adhesive side right to the edge. Don't take it over and don't let it go under. Right. Okay. So you should have that, like that there. Now, what I did with the lid, and as with all the lids, I've just cut these using any number of the shaping dies that we've got at Stampin' Up. In fact, the one that I was using for this, I had it last night and it's like it's vanished. I can't find it, and I just, for the life of me, cannot think what was the name of that set. But what it did was, it did all these shapes, which I've got here, and it also has this cutting die, which gave me this shape as well, which is really quite nice. So, or you can make your own. You can just square it off. Is certainly quite okay, like I've done here. Also, what you could do is, if you've got a punch, you could punch the edges of the cardstock here. But what I've done with this one is I've used a die from the Around the Bend, as I'm just looking up into the A's, yes, Around the Bend, and that has given me this here. Now, that is going to sit simply on there, like so. And there's your box. 2 pieces or 2 elements to it, and it's as simple as that. Now, we need to put, this will sit on the, I'll show you what I mean by that, but it will sit on the outside of the box. I just think it has a nicer finish than if you put it on the inside when you adhere it to the box. But let me just show you what I mean by that. So I'm putting tape on the, as close to the edge as I can possibly get it. Have I done that correctly? Yes, I have. For a moment there I thought, oh, that's not right. Okay, so let's just lift that off, and I'm going to add another piece of tape to this, because I don't want the seal to fail. I'll just stick it right there, straight, and tear it. Okay. Now, if I do this, excellent, and do it correctly. Okay, there we go. Now the tape is there. We're just going to take it and put it. Now, you don't want the side with where the edges have come to and they're exposed. This is the front, where it's just a nice rounded join. And if that's the front, then we need to attach this to the back part. And we're going to attach it up here. Can you see that? Up there on the back. So, and to see it more easily and make sure you're in position, this is how you do it. So it's just taking that right up to the edge, and it's on the, oops, it's on the edge now. Okay, and oh, just wait there, hold your horses. Okay, I haven't got it centered. Oh, I thought this was going to be easy. There we go. Right to that edge. And it's, the edge is there. Okay. Just touching that down there firmly. And there we go. All right. So that is our box. Now, it does pay to score these folds. I'm just saying. You want to have nice, and I probably could have scored the box a little bit more firmly, but nothing is too late. I'm just going to fold that one down there and just do that like this. Okay. All right, that's good. And why I've got that there, I don't know. Why did I do that? So this will demonstrate or illustrate, even if you've got a tall card, it can go right to the edge there and it'll sit in the box. But we don't have such a tall card. However, I just wanted to show you a different way of doing the box, the lid. So we've got that. I don't have a specific card to put in here as yet. However, I want to make these various boxes though, just make them pretty generic so that any card can go in there. And you don't have to worry about making a card that is designed, making a box designed around the card. Excuse me. Okay, now for decoration. Everyone has one of these in their stash. A box full of cutouts. Now, I've gone through most of mine and that were coloured up. So I'm now going to need to colour just a couple of blossoms. And I was going to do some leaves, but okay, we might need to do that as well. Okay, so the thing I like to do is get a flower. Where's one I can use here as an example here? I like the flower. See where we've got this bit of cloth here, fabric. I use this flower as the anchor point for wrapping the box shut. And so that's why most of them have got some sort of a floral tie down, I call it. But I have used other things, and in this example you'll see I've used a butterfly to tie the things down. So it doesn't have to be a floral, just your imagination will run wild, I'm sure. Okay, so let's just bring up the, I'll make this one a flower with a couple of buds and possibly something like that. Anyway, but we'll just bring out a couple of blossoms. I think I might make it, where are the bigger ones? That's two different flowers there. Here's one. Okay, oh, here's some leaf. Oh, these ones are already made up. Blue and white. No, let's do this, and I'll do it from scratch for you. Okay, so I'm going to colour up a couple of these, and I'm also going to colour up these leaves to go with this. So it'll be a bit like that. Very simple. And what colour? Let's go with a... Oh... Just hold on, I'm going to see what colours I've got. Yeah, no, I was just checking to see, I'll use the Flirty Flamingo, which is this nice pink, and I'll use that as the main colour on the flower, and we'll see how we go there. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do a couple of these. Yes. Okay. Let's get 4 of them out. And I'm going to show you my new favourite technique for colouring. And I enjoy it because it is just that little bit different. And let me just grab a piece of scrap paper. Here's a piece. Here we go. Okay. Just put those onto there. Move those over. So what I'm going to do, if you've used a brayer before, and I'm sure you have, I don't know if that's too bright. Let's turn those over, and I'm going to just put some colour on the brayer. And here's the brayer. I've just rolled it across the ink pad like so, just to get the wheel completely covered. And I'm going to just roll this over and look at those colours. It's just, I think it's brilliant. I really like the way that colour has come up. And I like the fact that it's uneven. And I'm just going to give it that one colour. That's all they're getting. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the leaves. But we'll need to, sorry for all that background noise. I will need to just take that off. Most of the colour has, right, that's it there. Now what I'm going to do, I'll just get I'm going to do a mossy meadow, shall I? Yes, I think so. No, too traditional. Let's go with a early espresso. So I'm going to do the leaves in an early espresso. And there's only a couple here. I don't think I've got any other leaves. Let me just check. No, most of it is florals. Yes, no, I don't have any other leaves. So let's, with our mossy meadow, no, it's not early espresso. Let's get some colour on there. That's it. And same thing, one roll across, and look at that. I really, really like the way the texture is applied on that. And to keep everything in focus, let's go with a bow. And we'll put the bow, we'll give the bow another colour, and let's say it's let's say we give it a let's say we give it a copper clay. No, it's going to be too much. You know what? Let's do a blackberry bliss. So a dark mauve or purple. All right, and once again, a little bit of ink, and straight over the bow. And there you go. And so, how does the picture look? Let me show you what I have in mind. Just put these away. So, this is how it may look on the card. If all things go according to plan. I'm going to shape these up a little bit because I just cannot help myself. I've got to shape an element. So all I'm doing is getting my piercing mat out, and I'm going to just focus on one side of each of these leaves, just one half of it, the leaf. And I'll turn this one over and do it on for there. Okay, so there's our leaf element, and rolling in the center to give us that turned up look, and doing the same with all pieces. That's now part of it. Okay, there we go. And so you could have this sort of thing happening. Or you could just have them stand alone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do them stand alone, but I'm going to put what do you call it? A sequin in the belly of each of these, and it's going to be a little like that. And I think rather than putting that one there, let's put that one there. This can come down, and there's our bow. So let's see what that will look like on our gift box. Are there enough elements for that? So our gift box is sitting there. We've got that. That's there. All right. Now, here's another reason why you shouldn't throw out your offcuts, because it'll make, you'll have all of this foliage at the ready when it comes time to doing something in terms of big piece of work, perhaps. Okay, I'll just trim that little end there so it's a little neater than it would be. Then this will feed in through the hole made by this objet jar. Okay. Oh dear, come on. Where is it? Okay. Let's give it a bit of a tug. And as it comes down, and as this dries, and I should turn that way, and then when this dries, you can put that around this main floral here. And if you don't want to, then hang on to it. It'll be worth something in the future, I'm sure. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of those excess puddles of glue. All right, and jump into my stash of beads and balls. And what do I want? Flirty Flamingo. It's a pink. I think I need to go down here. Sorry, you can't see me off camera, but I think what we want is possibly in there somewhere. Or is it this one? No, I think it's that one. Yes. I think what I'm seeking is here. These big red ones. That's off. They're iridescent pastel gems. Here we go. Okay, I think this is the colour. Oh, it's perfect. That is perfect, yes. And this one. That's all they're getting for a wedding present, let's say. If I was giving this to someone. Oh, that is really, really quite nice. I like this. And yes. Okay. I must have put a decent puddle of just need to remove that because it will look unsightly. Okay. All right. Now, go. All right. Oh, we have a malfunction here. There you go. Now, I won't try and tie that off now, but you get the picture. It's going to go under here. Just lift it through so the florals go under there, and then it's a matter of tying that off around that big one there. So let's not do that now, but there is our card box, and that is open to taking any project you like within reason. And if you have a card that goes out longer than this here, then you'll just make the lid larger in terms of the height. So that's our card box, and if I go ahead and put a card in it, let's just see what else I've got I can put in here. Oh, piece of paper. Just bear with me one moment. So that's, I think that looks good, yeah. So what we'll do, let's take that back. I'm going to maybe make one more knot there. Let's just bend that back a little bit. Now, in terms of, I'm going to just use this card possibly as the home for this, and you can see straight away this card here is 13.5 centimeters by 16.5, so it's one of the larger cards that I make, and I would have struggled to find an envelope that I could use, but what I'm going to do here as an example, it's just a matter of having a small enough piece of wrapping paper that I'm going to use this one as an example. And I'm not the best folder. One thing I do need to do is learn how to fold papers. But this gorgeous paper that I found at a second-hand gift shop, it's just fabulous. So here we go. We've got our paper. We're now placing the card in. And look at that. It's just a nice gift in its own right. We could place these little florals here underneath, tie it off, and I won't tie it off too much whilst that glue is still drying. But there you go. You just need to humour me here. I've got to see it closed. And there you go. And when it's over here, it'll be, yes, not so. But look at that. I think it's quite clever for myself. And it addresses that complex, vexed issue that I had with my three-dimensional cards. Well, look, that's all I've got for today. It's been a busy couple of weeks past. Hopefully we'll see some of you down in Locksport on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th of November, and where we'll have an expo of my work and also a beginner's class on the Monday, which is the 3rd, and on the Tuesday it's an intermediate and an advanced class. So if you're there, we'd love to see you, and if you're not, well, I'd love to see you next time here on Michael's Card Art. Thank you. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed that. And most of all, I hope to see you then. Take care.